Hey guys, Jeremy Bowley from Insider Pro here. I was listening to Jimmy Carr explain the other day how good we've got it, and he was saying that until 50 years ago nobody had a hot shower in the morning, and he's right. Question for me though really was why. We've had the idea of showers for millennia. Even the ancient Greeks had plumbed-in versions. The real problem was cost. Only the wealthy could afford them. And you needed a king's ransom to pay servants to pour hot water over you in the morning. So it wasn't until we figured out how to do that with less people, with less resources, that they became something that was accessible to the population. And it's exactly the same with the economy. The only way to improve living standards is to focus on productivity and to get that right. Government can't tax you into a better life. It has to come from growth. And growth is really just another way of saying we need to be more productive. I've seen firsthand in businesses, say 20 million to 500 million turnover, that a proper sustained focus on productivity can add like 10, 20, 30% to profits in a year. And if you're worried about your people in that process of going through that, don't. People love ditching work that doesn't contribute to success. It's not very rewarding for them, and they don't enjoy it, and frankly they'll thank you for getting rid of it. There are three really simple things you can start doing to focus on increased efficiency and ultimately productivity. First is, can you find really good ways to develop repeatable and consistent work? So you're not changing things, you're not doing things differently all the time. How can you reduce errors and rework and get that out of the system so that you're using really productive shortcuts but you're not cutting corners? We know that leads to more rework, and that's not wildly productive. And finally, can you focus on reducing the amount of time it takes you to deliver work? If your team can work faster, you'll get more value done through the year. So we know measurement's super important, and measuring your increase in productivity is pretty straightforward actually, particularly if you adopt some good per X thinking. So I'd encourage you to calculate your revenue per employee and track that across time, not just thinking in terms of total revenue. You need to seriously work on things like customer cost of acquisition. What does it cost every time you bring a new customer in? What does that look like? And can you find more customers for a lower cost? Can you drive that forward? And can you look at sales or profitability per square meter, or using another X that's relevant to your business? The challenge of productivity is fundamentally a thinking issue rather than a doing issue. It's about how we design our business proposition and how we're going to work and what happens day to day in the business. It's not necessarily just about the tools that we have, it's about the vision, the practices, the way that we work every day, and about the culture that we develop. Get that right and we will really engage employees, and engaged employees are productive employees. Real productivity enhancement comes from within the organisation. It involves rethinking how tasks are being allocated and how people work and how teams are structured and how you measure outcomes. It requires a shift from traditional ways of doing things towards a much more agile, collaborative way of working, a way that empowers people to get the right things done and the things that matter done, and encourages them to keep working on getting that process better and better. If you're not working actively on productivity, I promise you this, the competition is. They are spending every day finding ways to beat you, because business at the end of the day is a competitive sport, and the only way to win is to be on offense. Better productivity is a moral and a business imperative. We, and frankly you, owe it to your people, your customers and your investors to continually improve and to get better. We're only here for a short time, and the really comfortable lives that we've made now for ourselves are because our predecessors focused on being productive and improving what we've got from the resources that we have. So you've got to harness not only the brains in your company, but in your wider supply chain, leveraging thousands of people's brains rather than perhaps the hundreds of people that work in your organisation. If you do that, that's how you dominate your industry, and you'll see massive growth if you can achieve it. So in summary, whilst external factors like economic policies, global crisis, technological changes, all those things that are going on, whilst they influence productivity, the real core of the issue lies in how your business strategizes and operates. In the UK, we won't solve our productivity challenge until we start to take action within our businesses. We can't rely on politicians or other people to do that for us. This must be something that we take action on, we lead on, and we deliver on, not just for ourselves, but for the rest of the country.